We have more to get to, including new developments in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. The House committee now voting to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi over the Justice Department's handling of files related to the late sex offender. NBC's Ryan Nobles joins us from Washington. Ryan, good morning to you. What can we expect from Bondi testifying?
Well, Chanel, good morning. The subpoena from the House Oversight Committee calls for a closed-door deposition, so we can likely expect something similar to what we just saw with Bill and Hillary Clinton, where the committee will record and then later release the video. Bondi will likely be interrogated on transparency issues related to the files release. The Justice Department was required to publish more than 1 million pages of documents last year, but delayed the majority until this year. Both Democrats and Republicans have also criticized how certain names and information were redacted, while many victims were left identifiable.
Hey friends, Sarah is here. Picture this. You're the most powerful person on Earth. You command the most advanced military in human history. You have the nuclear codes at your disposal. And yet, on a night when American soldiers are dying in combat, when jets are being shot out of the sky, when families are receiving the worst news of their lives, you're not in the Situation Room.
What's going on with respect to our operation in the country of Iran? The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule, and at levels that people have never seen before, actually. We're destroying more of Iran's missiles and drone capability every single hour, knocking them out like nobody thought was possible. As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. But we have the greatest military anywhere in the world. Their Navy is gone, 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships.
You're not on the phone with military commanders. You're not focused on the war you started. Instead, you're alone with your phone, rage posting 17 times on social media because your own attorney general just confessed under oath that she broke the law to protect you. That's not a movie script. That's not a hypothetical. That's exactly what happened to Donald Trump on March 3rd, 2026.
Attorney General Pam Bondi ready to go multiple rounds with the House Judiciary Committee.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
At times, it seemed more like a bad reality TV show than a congressional hearing.
I'm reclaiming my time, and when I
will
reclaim my time,
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman will
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
But there were serious questions about the DOJ's handling of the Epstein files.
To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand. And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice.
And questions from Republican Thomas Massey about the redactions made in the latest release of 3 million Epstein documents, which quickly devolved.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician.
The exchanges fast and testy.
You don't want to answer the question.
No, you don't get anything regarding public safety.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Let me set the scene for you because this is one of those moments that will be studied for decades as the point where a presidency completely unraveled in real time. Pam Bondi, Trump's hand-picked attorney general, the person he trusted above almost anyone else to run the Justice Department and shield him from legal exposure, walked into an emergency deposition before Congress. This wasn't a routine hearing with weeks of preparation. This was happening immediately in the middle of a war, while American troops were actively fighting and dying in Iran, and under oath, meaning every word could put her in prison if she lied. Bondi admitted to everything. She admitted that the Justice Department violated federal transparency law. She admitted they withheld more than 50 pages of evidence from the Epstein files. She admitted they hid 3 out of 4 FBI interviews with a 13-year-old girl who accused Trump of sexual abuse. She admitted they suppressed testimony from a child. She admitted they buried Epstein's 2018 iMessage, the one where the dead sex trafficker predicted Trump would bomb Iran if he ever got cornered like a rat. And then she dropped the bombshell that changes everything. She admitted that Trump ordered her to do it. The President of the United States personally directed his Attorney General to break the law, to hide evidence, to obstruct justice. Think about what that means. The top law enforcement officer in the country under oath in front of Congress confessed that the commander-in-chief used her as an instrument of a criminal cover-up. She didn't dance around it. She didn't use legal weasel words. She said, yes, the president knew, and yes, he ordered it. Now imagine you're Trump. You're watching this happen in real time. You're getting updates from your staff as your own attorney general systematically dismantles every defense you have. She's not just implicating herself. She's putting the handcuffs on you. What do? If you're a normal president, you consult with your lawyers. You issue a measured statement. You let the process play out. But Trump is not normal. Trump cannot control himself. Trump cannot sit with uncomfortable truths. And so at 11:42 p.m., while American soldiers are still unaccounted for in Iran, while the war he started is spiraling out of control, while the nation is on edge, Trump picks up his phone and starts posting 17 times. 17 unhinged, desperate, lying posts on Truth Social. He calls Bondi a traitor. He says she betrayed him. He screams about witch hunts and deep state conspiracies. He claims she admitted nothing, a statement so obviously false that anyone watching the deposition knows it's a lie. He insists he's winning in Iran, which is demonstrably not true given the body bags coming home. This is not a president. This is a man having a complete mental breakdown in public while the country burns around him. And here's what makes this moment so historically significant. This wasn't some random accusation from political opponents that Trump could dismiss as fake news. This wasn't a media narrative he could wave away with a tweet. This was his own person, his own appointee, his own shield, and she just handed Congress everything they need to remove him from office. Let's walk through exactly what Bondi admitted, because the details matter. The FBI interviewed an Epstein accuser 4 separate times. This was a woman who, as a 13-year-old girl, claimed Trump sexually abused her. 4 interviews, dozens of pages of testimony, detailed allegations, the whole story told in her own words to federal investigators. When Trump ordered the Epstein files released in February 2026, what he called a transparency initiative, only one of those 4 interviews made it into the public record. 1. The other 3, over 50 pages, simply disappeared. They were redacted, suppressed, removed from what was supposed to be a complete disclosure to the American people. Bondi admitted she made that decision. She admitted the DOJ violated the Transparency Act. She admitted Trump told her to do it. Then there's the IM message. In 2018, Jeffrey Epstein sent a message predicting that if Trump ever got cornered like a rat, he would bomb Iran. This was a dead sex trafficker from beyond the grave, almost predicting the exact sequence of events that unfolded in 2026. The cover-up starts breaking, and days later, Trump launches a war. That message was in the Epstein files. Bondi's DOJ chose not to release it. They hid it. And under oath, Bondi admitted she made that decision too. She admitted it should have been released. She admitted to the cover-up. So now you have a sitting president who ordered his attorney general to violate federal law, to obstruct justice, to hide evidence of crimes against children, to suppress testimony from a victim, and you have that attorney general confessing to it all on the record. This is not a close call. This is not a partisan interpretation. This is the president's own legal team admitting to felonies. And Trump's response, 17 posts in the middle of the night, raging about traitors claiming victory in a war he's losing, denying things that were just admitted under oath. Let's talk about what this does to the impeachment case. Before Bondi's testimony, Democrats had evidence. They had document gaps. They had suspicious redactions. They had timelines that didn't add up, but they didn't have a confession. They didn't have someone directly tying Trump to the cover-up. Now they do. Bondi's admission is official evidence. It's part of the permanent congressional record. It's under oath, meaning perjury charges would follow if it were false, and it directly implicates the president in obstruction of justice. The articles of impeachment practically write themselves now. Obstruction of justice, abuse of power, violation of federal transparency law, directing a cover-up of evidence related to child sexual abuse. And here's the part that should terrify every Republican in Congress. How do you defend this? How do you go on television and explain to your constituents that you voted to keep a president in office after his own attorney general confessed under oath that he ordered her to break the law? You can't. There's no spin that works. There's no whataboutism that lands. There's no both sides argument that holds water. This is as clear as it gets. But the most devastating part of this entire saga isn't even the legal exposure. It's what Trump's all-in spiral reveals about his priorities and his mental state. While Bondi was testifying, American soldiers were dying. While Trump was posting 17 times, families were getting notifications that their loved ones weren't coming home. While Trump was raging about traitors and witch hunts, the war he started was spreading across the Middle East, and he couldn't focus on any of it. He couldn't tear himself away from his own personal drama. He couldn't put the country first for even one night. The President of the United States was so consumed by panic over his own legal exposure that he abandoned his duties as commander-in-chief during an active war to have a social media meltdown. That's not an opinion. That's a factual description of what happened on March 3, 2026. Prosecutors watched this unfold. Constitutional scholars watched. Military leaders watched. And they all understood the same thing. This man is not fit to hold office. The cover-up is now proven. The obstruction is now admitted. The abuse of power is now documented. And the man at the center of it all spent the night screaming into the void instead of leading the country. Let's break down what happens next.